Recording in progress. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here. We are live. This is Talk Your Shit. I'm your host, Mr. Keep Watching Rich, that Bengal fan. I got my guy down there, the Jets. I don't know if he's there.
What's up, everybody?
And we got this new fella, my old head. You know what I mean? Let him know who you are.
Listen, man, I'm Chris from Queens. Diehard Eagle fan. I'm a little older than these fellas. So I go back to the Randall Cunningham days when yeah, exactly. Kevin Hart of me right there. Hit me with the damn. But yeah, I'm a diehard Eagle fan. That's my only tie to Philly, though, to be honest with you. I'm from Baltimore, living in Queens now, last 20 plus years. Diehard sports fan. No allegiance in basketball, though, but that's another topic. So we'll talk about that. So good to be here with you guys. Let's get into it.
Yes. Let's get into it. All right, so let's jump right into it, man. Listen, this past weekend was insane.
Yeah.
Let's just start from the top. So, what did you guys think about the first game, starting with Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence, that Chargers versus Jacksonville game? Go ahead, shoot it for me.
Dude! Listen, man. I mean, when you spot a team 4 turnovers, like as a defense, you like, okay, like take it home. And like you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be the the 4-star prospect, highly touted Justin Herbert, finally in the postseason after so much hype and hoopla. Like, you got to get that done. That's like, I hate how all Monday morning quarterback is like, Brandon Staley's a bad coach. No. Players play, and you gotta you gotta bring it home. It's just like I can't fault the coach when the game plan wasn't play and you did have a 28-0 lead. So at the end of the day, that's just like you gotta have that drive to be like, you know what? Let me just go out here and execute. Let's just like bring it home. Like, there's no reason why that kind of. I mean, leads happen, especially now with the way the game is called. Teams are gonna come back. It's just inevitable. But to blow that lead the way you guys did, unacceptable, man.
Yeah, that was a wild game. See, I'm going to disagree with you, though. I think coaching does matter. And I agree that they should have won regardless. But that being said, I mean, you got to look at the adjustments that were made in the second half, right? Staley didn't do anything different. He was playing not to lose, and they weren't playing to win. So then you got Doug Peterson, who made all the right adjustments. Dudes were flying wide open. It's like, I agree, 100%. 4 picks. You should never be able to recover from that.
Exactly.
But that still comes down to coaching at the end of the day, though. Like, the players do have to play, but his whole scheme in the second half, he ran Eckler 6 times, 7 times maybe. Can't get away from that, So we also saw the arrival of Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Let's face it. Like, he looked like the number 1 pick. Like, for a young guy to overcome 4 picks and then go on to win. It says a lot. That's huge for your confidence moving forward too, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So that brings it to that next question now. Herbert or Lawrence? They're essentially the same player. We talked about it. I keep telling you. I'm gonna just tell you like this, all right? Because this other Philly fan that I have on here, he's a huge Justin Herbert fan. Whatever. Like I've always said, man, Justin Herbert is great, but I think everybody just looks at his talent and doesn't see everything else. I think Justin Herbert is just as talented as Pat Mahomes. What's the other guy named Josh Allen? But that is Philip Rivers.
The other guy. Don't do that.
Philip Rivers 2.0 to me, man. He's Philip Rivers 2.0. But man, listen, bro. I think Trevor Lawrence.
Philip Rivers 2.0.
Yeah, bro. Listen, he in the right system. He with the right team. The Chargers.
But he doesn't have the right coach, though. But we got a guy that's shown time and time again he can't make any adjustments ever. Oh, no. And I don't even watch the Chargers that much. I watched them maybe 3 times this year, and each time I've seen the losses, and it's all been on the coach. Herbert's not calling the plays. They got to make the plays, but he's not calling the plays.
At the same time, all right, you're in your 3rd year. You're supposed to be – I get it's on the coach, right? They have 4 possessions in that second half, 4 possessions.
Right.
You went 3 and out on every possession except for the one that you got a field goal. And then one of the other possessions, they had a field goal. They got spotted because Jacksonville muffed the punt. So, I
mean, listen, you got to look at the first half.
Quarterback, you're up 27. You got to find a way to get it done, even on that last drive.
I mean, that's a part of the problem, right?
They get on Matt Ryan. They got on Matt Ryan when they gave up that big lead to the Vikings. They'll get on Dak all the time. Justin Herbert got to get the same love too, just like last night. We'll get into it. If Burrow didn't do what he had to do, everybody was going to be calling my phone to let me know how bad. And what do you call them? The Bungles. But that's a different story. But what I want to take from this game now, going forward, right? This is my question. Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert?
I'm going Trevor Lawrence, man. I mean, I just think it shows so much character to come back from 4 picks in the first time you're on the playoff stage. But he's also got a better support system around him. I personally don't trust the Chargers staff. Now let's see if they bring somebody in. Now, if they bring Sean Payton in, that might change in 2 years. But right now, it's Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy that ascends above next year, in my opinion.
What you got?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think I would still take Herbert just because, like, just to go back to my earlier thought, yes, coaching does matter. But me personally, I don't like how like everything is being like levied on Brandon Staley. Now, he is a questionable coach. Don't get me wrong, but I would still take Justin Herbert just for the fact that, like, to me, I think it's just like, and like we were saying, like, the talent is there. I just think like that was just like a bad loss that, like, you gotta, like, you next season you gotta show up and show out, because I was like, and again, but I do think it's like, for me, neck and neck now. But like coming into that game, I would have put it like, oh, it's like there's like a gap of some sort. Now it's like 4th and inches between them. It's just like, nah, Trevor might be top 5 by the end of next year.
I'm going with Trevor. I'm gonna go with Trevor. Let me say why I'm gonna go with Trevor. Because listen, Herbert, no matter what, when Herbert came into the league, that Chargers team, the coaching, front office, that Chargers team is talented. He came in with talent all across the board. You got Keenan Allen, you had Mike Williams, and he had Austin Eckler. I think he had Melvin Gordon there too at that time, or I don't know, but he's always had.
He definitely had Melvin Gordon there.
He had weapons. Trevor Lawrence went to Jacksonville. He brought
with a terrible coach
back. Dougie P is my man. He's a great coach, but still, what did Dougie P do without Carson Wentz? Nothing. You get me? So like, it's the.
No, I mean, listen, he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. So
yeah, he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. But like, what I'm trying to say is, Trevor Lawrence is to me. Everybody loves Justin Herbert because I don't know. It's just like he's that beautiful girl that everybody just can't see past. Like that's what he's just that hot girl. Like
he's a Lori Harvey of the NFL,
but he can't cook. He can't cook. You feel me? Like
to me, he comes off a little bit too robotic at times, where there's just a natural fluidity. And you saw Trevor Lawrence make some throws that just the average guy just doesn't make. You know, so. One last thing on this, and I guess we'll move on, right? The coaching part. So let's think about Mike Williams not being there. He played them all in a meaningless game. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you didn't play them in the preseason, but you're going to play them going into the late quarters of a meaningless game when you're already in the playoffs. Like, that's just terrible awareness, in my opinion. So coaching matters. If Sean Payton goes there, one of these guys goes there, I think,
I heard
talent-wise, we can all see it.
I heard they thinking about keeping Staley.
I mean, listen, man. They built a team around them, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
Well, yeah. Let's not dwell. We got other games. Time is here. Yeah. I did skip over this game. Seahawks 49ers. I almost forgot this game.
I mean, listen. Gino had let's leave it with Gino had a great season. Let's see what the Seahawks do. Niners are tough, man. I'll ask this though. What do you guys think about Purdy though? I think
Purdy's the listen. Okay, Purdy has talent, right? No lie. Purdy has the talent. He has a system. But this is what I'm saying. Purdy's the real deal. He might not be I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback. He's still a rookie. But this is why I say Purdy's the real deal. Look at Miami, right? So Miami's also on a third quarterback, right?
Third coach.
Third, whatever.
Oh,
They're on another
mess.
quarterback. Miami, I feel like they don't have just as many weapons as the Niners, but you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Think about what most quarterbacks can do with that. And what's his dude? Thompson can't do nothing. He done messed up a couple of my parlays. So in the same fact, the Niners have all these weapons, but you still need a quarterback to execute, who's not scared to throw over the middle, who can make throws. And Purdy is doing that, and I think he's doing it better than when Jimmy G was there.
All right.
To be honest with you, I think they're really cooking. Purdy, like we was watching the game, Purdy gets out himself sometimes. He starts thinking he's Pat Mahomes. He run out and he throws the ball. He be trying to do things, but when he's on, he's on.
Well, I mean, they're playing with house money though, man. Like it's a third string quarterback. Like that team is ready built for the Super Bowl. It's almost like Shanahan doesn't even want a good guy. Shanahan's a guy that needs like someone that can do what he needs you to do. Make the quick read. That's why Jimmy G is so successful.
And he's Purdy.
And Purdy's the same way. Like these guys, that system is just built for those guys. So I mean, we'll see. Like they haven't really faced any adversity yet, so we'll see what happens.
Let me ask you though.
Round. I mean, I think they beat either of the teams that are playing tonight, though.
I asked them this last week, and they thought I was crazy. But I said Purdy's gonna take that job over Trey Lance. I think it's his job.
Listen, that's the NFL. What are you gonna do if he like gets them to the Super Bowl, and unless Trey Lance comes in and does something magical? Yeah, that's a very, very tough.
They don't win their next game. Who do you go with next season?
It doesn't matter. Next season, it's a competition if they don't win next game. Or you go right back to Lance because you got to give him a shot because you can't invest that much money and not give him at least 6 games.
They gave Lance like 8 games already. That's what I keep saying. They keep talking about this 6 game. They gave Lance like 8 to 10 games.
How many games?
I've never seen Lance do anything spectacular.
Well, I agree with that. I don't know that there's anything special about him. I think Shanahan might think he's like an athletic Purdy. Like I think that's Shanahan's vision for him. Like I don't think, like you said, like the few plays that I've seen, there wasn't anything where I was like, wow, like this guy, I haven't seen him.
Quarterback.
Yeah, he, like inaccurate,
almost like Colin Kaepernick to me.
Kaepernick was probably better than him at this point in the game, though.
I mean, well,
he did the
Super Bowl, though.
Yeah. I mean,
Listen, man, if Brock Purdy wins the next game, it's his job going into next season.
It's certainly his job to lose, right?
Yeah, like I feel like so what we're talking about. I feel like Trey Lance hasn't done anything for us to continue to justify. Is this your job? It was if we're saying you over Jimmy G, we don't want to pay Jimmy G. Okay, let Jimmy G go, even though we had success with him. But now, if we're having success, both Jimmy G, somebody we don't want, and Brock Purdy, somebody we do want, you better come and like Pat Mahomes 5,000 yards out the gate or something. Otherwise, it's just like
Right. Nah, I agree, man. I mean, if he wins this next game, it's on him to lose the job next season. It's his job to lose. Because, the idea of a franchise is, both of these guys, I mean, you think about it, the Niners are in a really good position, though.
Yeah.
The objective is to build a team while your quarterback is cheap, right? Like, they aren't paying either one of these guys anything right now. So, come back next season, who knows?
Yeah.
Like, they're in a good spot. I mean, this league is so crazy. You put a little bit of good film on Lance and get him out of here. Couple picks for the next season.
Couple second rounds, get him out. Right, let's not dwell on that.
Yeah.
Let's take it on to the next one. So Bills Dolphins.
Man, I would say that the Bills just aren't as good as everyone thinks.
I've been screaming that since the beginning.
I think Josh Allen is an elite talent, but I think as a team, I don't think they're as good as everyone paints them out to be. Like, I don't see any special playmakers on defense. And Josh Allen is as good as he is. He's got a little bit of Favre in him, man. He's going to throw that ball that shouldn't fit, and he's going to, like, hold a little bit too long. That's tough. Man, that's tough. It's going to be an interesting game come this week. But I mean, listen, Miami coaching, right? Like, if those guys don't drop some of those balls, Miami might be playing this week. You look at how many balls Waddle dropped, how many balls Hill dropped. And listen, Skyler, you listen, first of all, when a guy named Skyler's starting, you're already in trouble. But but the guy made some good throws. The dudes just really dropped. And then it just came down to like a couple of football god plays happening, you know?
Yeah. It's meant for Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL.
No, listen, Chris, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Like, and I think I know the reason why. Brian Daboll.
Dude,
Daboll.
When he was the coordinator of that team, they played with like this flair that like you don't want to see us. Like even though the Chiefs beat them on that miraculous comeback, I always felt like, the Chiefs got lucky. But now, ever since Daboll went to and you see what he's doing with the Giants, like he just like has guys playing with this certain flair that like you can't fuck with. But with now, and also too, I think the loss of Von Miller is really hurting.
Huge.
Like,
That's a great key. That's the big key, man. They have nobody. That's what I mean. Like, there's no special playmaker now, right? Like they don't have anybody to get to that passer. And we all know what the playoffs is about. You got to get somebody at the end. There's got to be somebody that can make a play on both sides of the ball in the playoffs when you got 4 minutes to go and the game is close. But Von Miller was that guy for them.
Yeah, no. But I do think also too, and you saw a little bit in the first half of like the Seahawks Niners, and you saw a little bit in the game between the Ravens Bengals. I just think that it's when you playing a team 3 times in a row.
I agree totally, man. It's so hard.
You're supposed to win that game, but it's like, yo, we know you studied you, we scouted for you. Like you're not gonna surprise us. So I know that a lot of those games were close, and then people be like, "Oh, is this team ready? Do they got kinks in the armor?" I just feel like that's the bad matchup for them. Like I could see them. Maybe not against the Bengals, but let's say if it was like Bills,
don't worry,
but let's say if it was like Bills versus Jags, I could see them like throttling them. But it's just like when you facing that division opponent, you're not gonna like.
It's hard, man. It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
That's why, like, and we're gonna get to this later. The Eagles might be in trouble. Like,
listen,
don't jump the gun. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Don't jump the gun. But yeah, I'll just piggyback off you guys. You know, I ain't never been sold on the Bills since we made the picks in the beginning. You told me so. Listen, man. Listen, it's all right. They won. We're gonna see them next week. We're off to the next game. All right, so the next game, Giants, Vikings. Let me start this one off, man. Listen, that boy, Saquon and Danny Dimes, bro. Not Danny Vick, boy. Do you see that man out there running? You see that?
Let's slow down a little bit.
Oh man, listen,
down a little bit.
Daboll, like you said, Daboll got them boys playing tough. You know, the one thing that I'm gonna say is the Giants are just an historically good playoff team. So I'm not surprised. It's the Vikings. It's Kirk Cousins.
There you go.
They've been frauds all year. I'm more surprised that they shut down Justin Jefferson. I'm like, how do you not go to Justin Jefferson on 4th and 18 in a meaningless regular season game, but you're going to throw a 5-yard out on
no sense.
Playoffs, bro?
No sense. I mean, that's Kirk Cousins being Kirk Cousins, man. Like this is what he does. Like Kirk Cousins is like a bank robber in the NFL. He will give you the best regular season ever, and you have to pay him because, like, that's the thing. How many people are better than him?
Did you see his numbers? Did you see?
Exactly my point.
32 of 39. It looks like he had the greatest game. Like,
but it just doesn't impact winning because he makes a play like that at the end of the game, no matter what his statistics are. So, like, as great as the Giants played, like, that was really a toss-up game.
No,
like that was really a game where it was like, yeah, the Giants are. I mean, listen, the Giants have overachieved all season. Daboll is obviously the real deal. Should be coach of the year. And he's got Danny Dimes playing at a really high level.
Danny Dimes about to get that money.
Well, they're going to either have to franchise him or give him a long-term deal. And like that's a real tough spot for the Giants to be in next year. They got Saquon and
I feel like they're gonna come to an agreement with Danny and franchise Saquon.
That makes sense because I mean I'd rather franchise a running back at a cheaper cost and have Danny for 3 to 5 years. Like there's really who's in the draft next year because I mean the Giants aren't going to have a top pick now.
Listen, Saquon running out there, he looking good. But hold on, to piggyback off for what you said earlier, because take it back. It pissed me off that they did not give Saquon a rock in the second half. So like throughout a lot of the games, teams was not giving the ball to the running backs, like you said about Eckler, Saquon. Like I see times throw 100 times in the second half.
I mean, listen, you can't we can't fault it because they won and they played well. I agree that because it's like you want to keep them off the field, but it's like situational. I don't know. It doesn't make. I mean, Danny was actually running though. He had 78 yards.
Bro, he had 70. He had 70
You know
yards
what I mean? So it's kind of like Dayball said, listen, if you don't see the first read, just go. And like Minnesota doesn't have any like true defensive stoppers. Nobody was scared to play them from the gate. And that was really like a pick 'em game, man. So, we'll see next week though. I mean, as an Eagle fan, I will say I'd rather not be playing them right now, but I think we should handle business and do what we need to do. We'll see. I mean, listen, we'll see if Jalen Hurts is really good. We'll see if he got better.
Right.
Now it counts. I don't care about your regular season. I don't care about I'm MVP and that. We love Jalen. Love him. But I don't care anymore. Like, it was a great season. It was great. It's fantastic. Did you get better? Are you going to be better than you were in the playoffs last year? That's what I want to know as an Eagle fan. And the Giants are a great test. It's only right that we go through the Giants and possibly the Cowboys.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see. One week at a time.
Before we get to the last game, before I let you start this off, Brennan, I had to drop a many men on them. Many men on them Bengals. You feel me? You already know. That's how they feel. Nah. But man, what you thought about that Bengals Ravens game, man? Go ahead, start them off, man.
Listen, man, that game was just again back to what I was saying. Like, it's very hard. Like when you facing it 3 times or trying to beat them 3 times, it's just like they know you, they know your ins and outs, and I felt like there was a level of like. I think the Bengals, were happy to be back in the playoffs after losing in the Super Bowl, and I think it was a bunch of just like playoff jitters, and I think listen, that drive towards the end of the third quarter by the Ravens had like it looked like it wasn't going too well, and then I don't know why they went with that quarterback sneak that far out, and then great read by the defense, and Sam Hubbard, man, just ran that thing in, so it was all in all it was a good. I think it was a good start to, potential Super Bowl run for the Bengals. But yeah, it was just like, of course the Ravens are going to be like, oh, if we had Lamar, they would have won. I mean, I personally feel like Bengals saw the Ravens come out the tunnel. They was like, oh, no Lamar. And I feel like that like changed their psyche, played a little bit down to the competition. But I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in that next game between them and the Bills, and I think we're going to see a way different Bengals team. But this game was good. I'll say this: I'm very impressed with Tyler Huntley. Like he made some plays that I was just like, okay. Like in the event, thinking like if they don't come to agreement with Lamar, like he might be somebody like they could like maybe. I don't know if they necessarily want to build around, but somebody like can hold them down until they find the person that they want to like move forward. If it isn't Lamar, so
yeah, I mean this was a crazy game, man. I mean I agree. To me, it's like all right. So you know what the Ravens are, you know who the Bengals are. Like you knew they were going to run, and I just feel like the football gods were on your side, man. To be honest, like if he gets that ball in, who knows? Yeah. But I also don't. I mean, listen, I thought the Bengals were going to win. I just was like, how with this guy? Like he said, I mean, Huntley played way better than expectations. I mean, I'm like, these guys were averaging 12 points a game. I don't know that they would have won with or without Lamar. I just think it's the Bengals had the football, because plays like that don't happen unless you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
Like that's when the football gods like, okay, like, and then listen, at the end, like, no one wants to see the Ravens without Lamar going on to the next round and play the Bills. Everybody wants to see Burrow. We want to see that.
We want to see.
Yeah.
We want to see Burrow and Allen. You know, so I mean, I just think the Ravens, you can't without your full staff, you're gonna have a tough Sunday.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a real tough Sunday, and you have zero weapons on the outside. The fact that they were even in the game, I don't know if that says more about the Bengals or are the Ravens. Is the Ravens defense really like that, and is their game plan so strict that no matter who's back there, they can just stay in the game? They were averaging 12 points.
Well, listen, I'm gonna say this. Huntley is my takeaway. Huntley, to be on the Ravens side, Huntley has had now 10 starts. So eventually he was going to get better. That's one. I think we went into the game plan as if we just trying to shut down the run. So we'll give you those passes. It's like when Eli got beat on that double move.
Yeah.
Bro, he's watching the game like a lot.
Well, Eli
of
gets beat on anything.
So stuff, bro. It was just luck. Eli got bit on a double move because who's really going to expect Huntley to make that throw? But Huntley, to be honest with you, Huntley is not a bad passer. Just Ravens just don't have no receivers.
They have no one.
So, don't get me wrong. And listen, when it comes to Ravens Bengals, it's always a bloodbath. It's just AFC North football.
I mean, that's AFC North, man. That's like that's rivalries.
Like you said, like I've been with the Bengals so long. I've been a Bengal fan. Yeah, the football gods was on our side because it's been a lot of years, a lot of times.
I mean, that's happened the other way so many times.
And I told you from the rip, it's like I've been saying for years, when you got him, when you have that quarterback, stuff like that happens. But my defense, I keep telling you, my defense is the real deal. It's the real deal. Playoff P, man. What I tell you, Playoff P, he didn't knock the ball out. Playoff
I mean, listen, I think that
P
they're a solid defense. I don't want to know. I want to say a real deal. Who's the Ravens' number one receiver? Mark Andrews.
No matter what,
Mark Andrews.
Don't have to have but they run that ball. JK, first of all, they made bad coaching decisions. Should have gave the ball to JK. I don't know why you're trying to do a quarterback sneak. It was like second down.
Makes no sense. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like sometimes I think these guys just overthink themselves. Yeah. Like hardballs. I don't get it. Like J.K. Dobbins just ran down the entire field.
There was one play where they put Mark Andrews in the backfield and had him in shotgun, gave him the ball to run. Dude, like he's not a running back. Like no
weapons, trying to win. This is the things that happen, man. It's the fact. It's just amazing. Like you said, I mean, it comes down to being in the same division. They just know each other. Like, there's no way that they should be in that game. They're terrible. The Ravens are terrible.
No, but listen, Ravens also have, and we're gonna piggyback this on the next segment. Ravens have the best defense in the AFC.
They do have a good defense.
They do, and this is why getting past the Ravens is I feel like I'm comfortable saying, even with being down 3 linemen, I'm not worried about anybody else in the AFC because one, you guys brought the point. There's no Von Miller. Who's really on the Bills pass rushing team that should really be scared of? Kansas City, really not scared of. There's nobody on that defense. They don't play the style of defense that the Ravens do. So the Bengals can get back to playing that vertical threat like they are. They can't do that against the Ravens because the Ravens are built to. Hence, if they had Lamar, a healthy Lamar, I think we would have lost that game. I don't know if we would have lost that game with injured Lamar. But a healthy Lamar, it really was a toss-up. But
I don't know, man. Lamar doesn't have like the stellar playoff record that everybody
watch this
keeps talking.
In the game, if you watched the game last night, there was some plays where Huntley was about to take off and he got caught.
Yeah.
If that was Lamar,
oh well, yeah, like that's. I mean, listen, that's the thing that Lamar brings.
They were like,
right? But like, do we pay that?
I mean, for that, yeah, I would. I think to me, the Ravens. I mean, no, I think Lamar should get out of Baltimore, but I think Baltimore would make a bad mistake letting him go. But,
well, that's the thing, right? Like, it's a fine line because I think he's out personally.
Yeah, no,
I think the relationship is fractured, and like, there's a lot to be said. Like, I'm all for like not having an agent and doing your own thing, but sometimes you need an agent. And this is one of those situations when you're negotiating $300 million, you at least need a good lawyer.
Yeah.
You know, like you need something, you know, something has to be that buffer. And I just think that because he's making his own tweets, and that's just team chemistry. When your quarterback is not all in, bad for the team, man.
And now the team, everybody's saying one thing.
And you got this guy coming out.
You know, I love it. I'm a Bengals fan. I love to see the Ravens.
It's like when I love when like the Cowboys are in dysfunction. When I love when the Giants are in dysfunction. Love when the Redskins are in dysfunction. Of course.
Golden. All right. So look, fellas. We're gonna stop right here. We're gonna pick it back up in a couple seconds. All right. This is part one, segment one. You heard us. Next segment, we're going to give our predictions going forward, and we're going to see who's going to win it all. But real quick, man, who y'all got tonight?
I don't know, man. I mean, this is another toss-up game. I'm going to just go with the Bucks because fuck the Cowboys. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I forgot we're recording.
Just talk your shit, man. Listen, you go ahead. You know what I mean? You talk your shit, man.
Oh, man.
Who you got?
It's a tosser because it's like you want to trust the Cowboys, but then it's Tom Brady, so it's just like So I feel like it's gonna be one of them games. Cowboys are gonna be up, and then Brady's gonna lead. You know, his classic 2-minute drive, going down the field, kick a field goal, win the game. So I'm gonna probably go with the Bucks.
I've been flipping back and forth. Sorry, Dad, you're a Cowboy fan, but I think it's Tampa Tom. I think Tampa going to do it.
Tom.
It's just, man. It's just Tom. It's Tom. Tom terrific. All right, so look, hop back on in 2 seconds, fellas. Let's talk your shit.
All right.